Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new series on this channel of mine of City Skylines. Now I've debated about making this for a while to see whether or not I'm used to the game fully and things like that, and I've put in God knows how many hours. It's a great game, so I thought I'd share it with you. We'll make a city together. Friends. But unless you've been living under a rock for the past however many months it's been out, it came about February, March time this year, then it is essentially in itself a city builder, a simulation game. If you've never heard of this type of game, you'll most likely have heard of SimCity, of Tropico. Great games where literally the control is entirely in your favour. You can either make a great city or you can make an absolute terrible city, as some of mine have been in the past. But you just have to live and learn. So with that, this part will be essentially a guide to those who don't know how to play, or for those who do know how to play, you'll see how I set up my cities and things like that. Obviously in the first parts and things, it's not going to be a spiraling metropolis as you can see in the background of this fantastic image, but there we go. But before we begin, I'll quickly click into the content manager. If you haven't actually heard of City Skylines, it's very interesting to know that I don't know any records, but this must hold one of the top records for the most mods in a game. Surely. It's got thousands. I think the last time I checked was about 40 odd thousand mods. And I'm not just talking about mods that change gameplay, mods that, you know, you can actually change buildings and stuff like that. But I've only put in a couple of mods. I won't be doing things like unlimited money and have all the zones unlocked and stuff like that, because it becomes too easy. In itself, this game can be quite hard, as you'll see why. So all I've got is you can change the roads between 1 and 2 way roads and directions. I know there's already a 2 like that now in the game since an update, but I like to keep it on anyway. More of a UI for public transport, because transport can be a bit of an issue. Automatic bulldozing, because as soon as people start dying, or as soon as garbage kicks in that no one's picking up, then you just delete and building after building after building, and it's a pain in the arse. Pedestrian crossings, which can be really helpful in terms of traffic, so more people will walk. And then also, if you put one-way roads, you can see which directions to go in. Really helpful for when you road building. Tree brush, because I love building trees and stuff, because you build trees in life, don't you? And also toggle traffic lights. I've never used this mod, but I'm sure it'll come in handy at some point. But I don't really have intersections, as you'll see. But anyway, I think it's quite important to clarify the different mods I've got in the game. So if I click into new game, essentially in this series I'll be doing the European update. I really like this update. They recently brought out the European update for those who don't play the game, and essentially they changed, I think it was about 70 different buildings they redesigned, so it had a more of a European feel rather than just like a futuristic American type thing. But yeah, but it's only on these first 3 maps. I will be choosing Grand River in the total. But if you do ever play the game and you have this long list of different maps that you can play, for example. But if I start from the bottom, I'm not going to go through each of them individually. But keep an eye on the Natural Resources tab at the very bottom left-hand corner as I scroll up. They don't really change, do they? Which makes you question, what's the point in actually choosing any individual map? The reason? The water and the outside connections, and also the suitable area for building. So for example, I'm clicked on Cliffside Bay. I can only build on 53% of the map, which isn't really a lot when you're building a city. But Grand River in this new update has the biggest amount, 84% in the entire game. And it also has highway connections, rail connections, sea connections, and also plane connections, so it's all round great. Yeah, we are missing out on oil, but not of a big thing, so I'll click straight into it. And you're automatically introduced to this guy, the little bird of death, Chirpy, the little bitch. Oh god, I don't know why I don't just turn it off. He chirps and chirps and tweets and tweets. It's essentially a social media type interaction mechanic that the game has put in. I'll just put it on pause for the time being. But yes, this is City Skylines. You are greeted straight away with this open buildable space, your first square. And if you've ever played bloody horrible games like the recent SimCity 5, which was a catastrophe in terms of a launch, oh, if you know your SimCity builders, you'll understand why. But essentially, many people complained in that game that you could only build in a square of, I personally think, smaller than this. I don't know the actual numbers, but to me it always seemed smaller. And then that was it. So it was essentially village simulator rather than city simulator. But there you go. As soon as you are brought into this game, you will notice the outside square. As you do go around and build up money, you can actually zone out and have a total of 9 buildable squares. So they have to be connected, so when I get enough money I can either buy one here, here, here or here. And then let's say I buy the eastmost zone, I can then zone here, here or here. I can't just randomly buy them wherever I want in the 9 block space. But you can have a maximum of 9 in total, if that makes sense. And that is really why City Skylines is so high up on the city simulation list, because of the fact you have that ultimate control. But as you start, you will be greeted with a highway intersection. As I did say, remember, this is a bit of a guide for those who may not have played the game. You will have a highway connection to your map. This one has 2, and it's very important, as I learned, not to connect these 2 straight away, because otherwise you've got traffic coming from this highway and that highway meeting in the middle, and it's just like a bombs blew up. There's just traffic everywhere, and traffic is a really big thing in this game, like a bad thing. Yeah, if you don't control it early on, then you're screwed. But this is your tab here for the roads. Very important about how you actually build your roads. Now, you did have different types. So going from the left, straight, curved. Well, I call my wibbly wobbly road, but it's actually a freeform road. So that's where you can just create any sort of design you want. And then in the actual types of roads, you have your normal 2-lane road that most places have, and then as you get more population and things, you can unlock 4-lane roads, 6-lane roads and roundabouts and things like that. But before you do anything, quickly just put 1 square down, then delete it, because having just one little piece of road will automatically have your 2-lane road come out. 2-lane roads are probably the most important road in this game, because it really helps you control traffic. So knowing that, you will notice this is a highway. I'm not going to build a highway straight away, but that is ultimately how this road will end up anyway, as a highway. But I'm going to keep it with the one-way system. I'll go up just 1 little square, go up another square for the opposite side, and see I bring in my mods straight away. Like I say, there is a tool already in the game which makes you change it, but I'm used to the mod now. And straight away I'm going to place in a roundabout. Yes, not many people like roundabouts, I've noticed from other different game players. I don't know why, but early on I think they're vital, definitely. And I will delete just the little intersections going in and then connect them up thusly. Oh, come on, there we go. I will explain the whole square thing in a second when I go into zoning. There it is. Easy. Now, it's a shame this has to be out so much. It's like a weird penis shape. Anyway, but like I say, as soon as you get this zone out the way by building this one down here, you can then make this shorter. But to begin with, it's very important to keep with the one-way traffic system very early on, I say. So I will build, let's have a look here, rounded road, just to make it sexy. Like, maybe the other way, yeah. Not that makes much of a difference, but really you're thinking about the flow of traffic here, so if I was to do it the opposite way, then I'd have had to have stopped and slowed down a lot to turn. But anyway, this side here was going to be my industrial zone, and I will explain zone in a second, and over here will be the rest of them, so residential and commercial. It's very important to understand your industrial zone, because I think that the industrial zone vehicles are the things that cause the biggest problems for traffic. So if you imagine your lorries and things coming into your city, they're immediately veering off to the right and then staying away from your main hub over here. Then as they leave the industrial area, they will then join the highway, the roundabout, to then go onto the highway and then either go into the city or leave. Simple. Also remember, if you are starting this game, in terms of building, pause the game. Do not build roads or zone until you've got the basic things down. Otherwise, you will start to lose money because each road has an upkeep and you've got nothing to bring in an income, so you will lose money straight away. But we'll ignore industrial for now, that's not important. So I'll go on to a normal 2-lane road for this one because it's not a big issue in terms of traffic. I think we'll curve it over... What? Okay. We'll curve it over... Oh, I'll just zoom up so I can... I'm a stickler. That's like OCD type level. Shouldn't really know about OCD. But in terms of symmetricality and things like that, and you'll understand it in my pipe network later on. But there we go. Right, so... I'll draw another one straight. I'll go on to my straight roads. 1, 2. Right. I'll now explain these little mystery squares of death. Anyway, right. So these are your zonable areas. So in terms of zoning, you can paint them green for residential, where people live, for blue for commercial, where people shop, and then yellow for industry, where people work. And they're all connected in their own individual ways, and getting it right is vital in terms of space, in terms of population size, and ultimately in terms of the speed of the game. So zone too much and you may run out of jobs, or people will leave because there's nowhere to shop. Or the main one is industry. If you zone too much industry, as I will be over here soon, and there's not enough people living in the city, then you're screwed and those places will close down and you'll lose money. Industry is where you'll get the most money because of imports and things. So, each road will have 4 squares connected to it. So if you are a stickler for space, like I am, if you think about cities in America, like New York, they work in a block formation, rather than in Europe, where they're more curvy roads and roundabouts, as we see over here. And ultimately, if you want the most population size, you will be building in New York type blocks, for example. And if you are going to do that, I will show you. So, for example, here you can see this blue sort of ghost area on either side of where the road is going to be. That's your zonable space. Those are the 4 squares. So if I build it up, let's say, and then knowing that it's 4, click about here and go up. Do you see how that ghost square matches the white squares that are placed on the right hand road? That means I'm getting the maximum amount of space for this area. Just knowing that. So for example, if I was to go from here all the way along, do you see how it's hitting those squares again? I'm getting the most amount of space I can get. So I'll place it down there for now. The best thing about this game is, and what will most likely happen, is this will all be some sort of like suburban type place, and then later on in the game it's just going to get completely wiped out and put into grid forms, which is always great. So actual zoning, here we go. Now, oh, go away. Now, it's very important, as I said, to remember what zoning you are putting down. You don't want to zone too much too early. And if you look at these tools here, you've got a paint bucket fill, which fills the entire space as long as there isn't a gap. Or you can do it individually by clicking and dragging and things like that. Truly ultimate control, which wasn't in the other games. So I'm quite a traditionalist, so I think it'd be quite nice if you drive into the city and you have a sort of like high streety type entrance. I've always liked that sort of thing in these games. So for example, if I click and drag on the square, I've got it selected. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Go into my paint bucket tool, and we'll just paint, let's say, a couple of these in. I don't have all that straight away, so we'll see about there. Doesn't matter if it's not a right straight away. Like that. So this is essentially how zoning works. And I'll just go into the main timeline, and you'll see straight away I've got 60 grand in the bank, and I'm already at a loss. That's because there's no income coming in at all, and I've got loads of roads which require an upkeep charge every day and week. I think it's every week actually, not every day. But as soon as people start moving in, this'll go. But no one's going to move in because there's nowhere to live. So I will get my residential zoner and just fill this entire space, just like that. And eventually people will start moving in quite quickly, but we can speed this up with this lovely thing. Now, for every building to be built, I'll just pause the game actually. For every building to be built, it requires two things: electricity and water, just like any other building in life does. And you can speed up the process of people moving in by pre-installing them. I found anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a water pumping station. Very important to do it upriver. If you notice these triangles, this is the direction of flow of the water. So, and I'll explain why it's important in a second. So if I place this down here, like that, and then I have this lovely thing, the shit pipe. Yes, it's lovely. All of this is going to turn brown. You can now understand why it needs to be upriver. So if I put this water pump, this shit station, as we now call it, here, that means all the shit is going to run into the drinking water, and people are essentially drinking their own shit, which is absolutely glorious. So to stop people getting sick, we'll just place it about here. Connect the two with a pipe. If you notice, they are double pipes, so it works for both the shit and the water. And we'll just quickly connect our roads up with the piping. Oh, see? It begins! It begins! Ah! I'll delete that one as well. Oh, there we go. It's better. Oh, this isn't going to be very nice, but oh well. I'll just connect this. Come on, come on. Oh well. To there. It'll do for now. And I'll press play. And they do require electricity. So I will get a wind turbine. Very important thing about wind is it's the cheapest way to get electricity, but you need a lot of turbines to power things, so it can be a bit of a pain, as you'll see. If you see the estimated production, it's 8 megawatts. That's the maximum you can get from these wind turbines, so don't like keep going around going, oh, why is it not going any higher than 8? It's because actually it doesn't go higher than 8, so I'll just place it in the middle, so then that will help power them too. You'll now notice this blue lovely outline around it. That means that this on its own is generating that much electricity to this area, and as buildings start coming in, you can see here, I'll just get this out of the way. Oh, you can see, wow, you can see here these have their own generated electricity. So all I need to do is connect the two with a power line. Very simple. But eventually, as buildings start opening up everywhere and you start expanding your city, you will not need to have loads of power lines, just because the buildings will be helping power one another as long as it's connected to a power grid over here. So ignore the untidiness of these rails, these power lines, sorry, because they will be gone virtually straight away. Well, more or less. So we still have a big demand for residential. People are moving in. But these people will need jobs. The commercial zones will be picked up quite quickly straight away. Speak the devil and he shall appear. So we're going to have a little shop, a general store. How lovely. Now, City Skylines is great in the sense that you can literally name every single building in this game. Yes, you heard me right. So for example, speak the devil again, he shall appear. General store, I can name, I don't know, the shop. How original. And there we go, we have the shop. So if I click on this person's house, the Grove residence, I could call it the Grove, the shit residence. Aye. And the more that you zone, if you do it effectively, then these will become under control. But in terms of the actual size of your zone demand, which is what these bars are, the demand, you have to understand the actual zones themselves. So to have commercial zone demand, you need to have industry. Go away. This is going to keep popping up. To have commercial demand, you need industry, because it's the industrial zone that makes the goods. You get money in terms of the imports and outporting that you do, and then also they ship them to the stores via transport vehicles, to the shops to then sell to the customers who live in the residential zones. So that is how the zoning thing sort of works there. In terms of residential demand, that will go up if there is a requirement for jobs, for example. So if your commercial or industry zone needs employees, then there'll be a demand for more homes to be built. And that is essentially how it works. But you don't want to zone too quickly. Say, we've immediately got shops being built. They don't have any goods to sell, so we now need to have those places ready to make those zones available so that they can make them, because everyone needs to spend their well-earned dollars. Now, industry's a bit of a tricky thing, I think, because it builds the most traffic. And I say that with absolute confidence. The amount of lorries that will come into this city is ridiculous. So what I will do is, I will keep this as a one-way road. Let's try and... oh, it's not going straight. It's not going straight. Okay. Bear with. I shall... oh, come on. There. Simple. Right. We'll make it small for now. There's not much demand for it. A simple square will do. Yeah, we'll just make one across. That's fine. It's very important, I think, to keep a loop system going on, because, yeah, some vehicles may have to go around 2 or 3 times, but then it stops the roads getting clogged up. So if you think about it this way, the lorries come in, they will immediately turn right, coming in from the roundabout, and then they will keep cycling round and round and round, which does mean we do have to have an exit. So I'll just draw it with the round tool. Come on. I know you want to do it. Come on. Come on. Oh, fine. I'll do it myself. Like that. And I'll just turn the direction of the road thusly. So they can either keep cycling round, or they can use a separate road to leave and then continue on the roundabout and then leave this way on. Yeah, there may be some traffic building around here, but it shouldn't be too bad at all. But it's about keeping that traffic flowing. So I will quickly just zone this area with industry. Oh, not that way on. D-zone. Like that. You sort of don't want buildings around your intersections either, otherwise that can clog things up. Just speed up time. I will need to put some piping and things down. And I'll just connect it to the network. We'll need electricity as well. So you can see this blue outline, but it's not connected to anything. So I'll just use my power cord to there. Now if I was to have buildings all the way along here, I would only need one set of lines, because they would all just connect along to each other. And knowing that, I think it's time to name the city. Springwood is just boring. How boring. Come on, there we go. What to call it? Now, I hate naming things. I am shit at this sort of thing. So, I'll just call it something like the City of, I don't know, City of Bob. That'll do. Hello and welcome to the City of Bob, the place for you. You'll never want to leave. Anyway, so... yes, this is the City of Bob. If you do have any sort of suggestions about which way you want the city to go, or suggestions of naming things, then please comment below. Anything is appreciated. This is our city. I'd like to think we are building it together. But straight away you can see there's not enough houses in the area, which means there's not enough employees, which lo and behold means unemployment, because everyone loves unemployment. So I will make this a two-way road, extending it upwards. I know I was going to have shops there, but that'll have to do for now. Build it up a bit more. Yeah. For now we'll keep it as two-way roads. I will change this. So do you see this network of blocks that's happening already? So this is what I mean. This is how it'll essentially end up going down for most cities. Like that. This is just because it's a starting block. Doesn't mean it's all going to end up like this. Now we'll just paste that there, that there. Look, they're desperate for houses. Look at them. They couldn't have came in quick enough. Extend our piping network out. I really like neat piping. That's going to sound like really weird, I know, but yeah. I just can't stand non-symmetrical piping because it just looks a mess. This right now is hell for me because I like it all connected nicely, but it'll change. It's the same with these grid networks. Right, where are we in terms of population? Now, we don't have many things to build yet in terms of services because we are just starting out. But the next part will be once we hit 340, which shouldn't be too long. We're just over 100 away and it'll start kicking in soon. We will unlock things like the medical clinic and the schools and stuff like that. And I'll explain those when it kicks in. So I'll just speed up time. And I will zoom. Oh, what? Right. I will say this one last time. Speak of the devil, he shall appear. There we go. Completely wasted the money on this road. But anyway. Yeah, I'll delete that. Yes, I will. But we now have services, and it's very important that as soon as a service unlocks, to place one straight away. So, for example, one of the biggest issues in this game, and I'm saying there's a lot of issues, but really, they're minute issues, as long as you handle them right. Oh, it's still got an unemployment thing going on, so I'll pause the game. Oh, it's already paused. Is garbage. Garbage, as soon as a landfill site builds up, everyone moans, everyone complains, and everyone hates a whinger. And there's a lot of whingers in this game, thanks to the chirpy thing. So, I will build a dirt road. For now. Just to extend it out, just to keep it separate. Oh, that's not a landfill. And I'll just place it. Oh, go on. Oh, nice. Furthest far away. Now, are you ready for this? Because just a line of trucks are just going to start going out and doing their job, and it's great. There should be some sort of like warrior march going on for this, you know. Da 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 da. This is very anticlimactic. So speed up time. Da 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 da. Anyway, that's just getting boring now. There's only so many garbage trucks you can take in your life. But yeah, they'll just get on with their own thing and just carry on going. We do need power again, so I will place another turbine down. Try to get the maximum space. 8 megawatts. And place. See, we've got 37 grand. Which is quite more than what I'm used to at this early stage. Probably because I'm talking. So I'll place another. Why not? You only live once. In Bob. Again, it sounds really weird. Anyway, so it's time to start networking these lines out. So I want to keep this out as a two-way road. So it's like a main high street sort of thing. Which is why I'm thinking of getting rid of these residential zones and just having commercial. But where there's no commercial demand. So that could be an ultimate goal for this little session. Let's see. Okay, right. I will make these. There it is. One-way roads. Now that guy's going to turn straight around. There we go. And I'll just turn on the mod thing so you can see how it works. So I can now see the direction of my one-way roads like that. It sort of makes the industrial area a bit more clearer as well. But I'll just turn it off for now because it's a bit of in the way. Still unemployment. Which is a surprise. I thought that would be higher then. So keeping with the two-way road. It's not going to go the whole way, so I'll do 1.5. Go up to the top and across. I think I'll just build this straight down just for change of direction. So, See, that's now, I'm losing space now for that. Stupid game. Right. Okay, we'll just build them across. It won't hurt. So we just get the maximum space. For now, I will just fill them in like that. And that. And that. Just to start kicking things in a bit. Because it's going a little slow. We're only on 699 income a week. So if you notice in the bottom left hand corner, this is each individual day. Speed it up, it goes faster, and you get money as the days finish and things like that. But this is how much you will get across the entire week spectrum. So we need to start speeding it up just a little bit. I need to put some piping down, I think. And that's fine, because I want to get a school down. Now, if you noticed when I first started off, I did say this was the European update. And this is how you notice it. All the service buildings, other than the likes of the garbage thing, have been redesigned just for these maps. These 3 maps at the top of that list. They have a more oldie sort of 1950s, 60s, European-y sort of feel. A lot of E's. But now, this green line that's appeared is the accessibility. So really, anything in this bottom left-hand corner isn't going to get the true effects of it. They'll still attend, but it's not going to be as effective as up here. So you really want to keep it as green as possible. Oh, the happy faces! So you can see it's got a more of an oldie sort of feel to this. And to me, it's better. It looks better than what the older models did. Now, that's hard to say if you've never played the game, because you don't know what the other models look like. But they were just basic, sort of futuristic-y, modern-y type buildings. And they didn't stand out. Especially amongst the villas, because that's what these are called, villas, apparently. But at the same time, I don't think this looks very European. At least not here in England. Definitely not. I've never been to a school that looks like this. But, again, you can change the name of it. So, let's say, Bendy Chops School. There we go. I named this school after myself. But, it doesn't change the name though. Bloody Carl Heisenberg Schule. Oh, anyway. It's the Bendy Chop School. Don't wear it out. Now, this is going along fine. Starting to get a little bit of a demand. It's starting to creep up a bit. Haven't yet unlocked the fire department. That's the next big thing for me. Because fires spread everywhere. So, congratulations everyone. We are a worthy village. Now, being a worthy village is quite important because we've unlocked districts. And I'll get into that one. And policies. But I don't really do policies, really. But you can unlock the forestry specialisation, the agricultural specialisation. Which is quite important for industry. It helps you bring in more money, but there's none around this part yet. And then also the firehouses and stuff like that. But because we've unlocked these services, you will now find that people will need them. So fire departments looks red. Everywhere's red. Danger, danger. Right. Firehouse. Now this is fine for this certain area, but I want it in the corner, I think. Just to save traffic. So sorry about that, Mr. Building. See, how good does that look? Now that is like a European sort of fire station, so I'll give it that. All the local fire stations around where I live have one of these sort of like training tower things. I say that probably every fire station in the world has them. I don't know, I'm not a fireman. Anyway. But I do have a school, don't I? Yes. Don't have a high school yet. Crime is not an issue in this game at all. Now it does say 2%, and as I start building more commercial zones, that crime will increase, but you only ever need one police station when you are starting out, because it literally obliterates crime straight away, so that's not an issue. Won't put it down just yet, just to save the dollars. Speed up time just a little bit. We'll put down a health clinic though, because why not? We don't want it too close to that intersection. Yeah, I'll put it there. And the people are happy. Another thing to remember, if you are going to play this game, and you haven't done it so before, putting services down, which are the schools and things like that, will automatically create demand. So you can see as soon as I put that clinic down, these houses started building, whereas they weren't there before, which is why I checked the residential zoning beforehand. Because it increases land value. So people will moan and complain, oh, where's me park? Oh, where's me services? Just puts them down and they'll immediately start upgrading. The upgrading system is this part here, so if I've clicked on here, the Broad Residence. They've got 5 stages of ultimate, I'll just scroll out because that noise is quite loud, 5 different stages of upgrading. And as soon as it gets there, it can't get any higher, because these are low density buildings, so these won't get very high, they won't become tower blocks or anything like that. Not yet anyway. To create tower blocks and things, you need to have offices and, well actually I'll tell you. High density things, so you can see by the picture, but you need 7,500 population, and that's not going to happen for a while. Big thing about this game is the districts. Now, talking about forestry and things like that, if I click on the natural resources, you can see these different colours. Oh, go away. You can see these different types of colours that's going on. Yellow means fertile land, so farming. Green is forestation, and as long as you've got a good sort of tree tool, you can create your own forestation sort of land going on. So that's not really a big thing. Grey means ore, so over this side here, which can be really good in terms of money. Well, so can farming. I think very early on in one of my earliest maps, I'd only been playing for about 45 minutes and I was raking in over 10,000 straight away just off farming alone. And so I was, I'm going to have a little farming town. Why not? But there's no oil in this one as well, so that if it was on this map it would be black, just so you know. So I'll just come off that. So yes, we could zone this if we wanted to. For example, just simply by painting it in. How glorious. Like that. And we come out of it. And we can also name these as well. We have complete control. So we could say this is... I like to have my zones in like capital letters just so I can see them because I'm blind as a bat. So, bye-bye, Warzone. A little bit of a dig. And with the actual districts themselves, you can place their specializations in. So if I was to make this farming, all of these buildings would disappear and farming buildings will appear in their place. But they'll be very unproductive because there's no fertile land underneath. So that's just something to think about. And so that's just generic industry, so I'll just click that away there. How does this work again? Come on. Come on. Wait. There is a way to do this. Oh, anyway. So you can you can change them. I do swear. You can change them. It's not in there, is it? Well, while we're here, it's very important to talk about as well. You can create policies. Woohoo! We are a tiny town. Woohoo! We can have a high school now. Very important not to educate your citizens straight away, otherwise like, oh my god, I don't want to work in a factory, I don't want to work in a shop because I've got intelligence. And I hate those people. There's nothing worse than seeing all your factories just completely close, because then you start losing money straight away because you need those factories open. But you can set district policies. So for example, smoke detector distribution, less chance of a fire spreading, but it costs 5 cents per building, which isn't really a big thing considering how many buildings are in this little zone. So if I click this on, I will lose money because that's natural, but it'll only be affected in this district. So that's how districts work. Oh, we've got a leveled up building, how lovely. But I think the last thing to talk about is the economy. This is where you have total control. This is that. What was that button, by the way? Doing it a bit too fast. This is where you can have total control of your budget. You are the mayor of this town. Or if you're an American, the mayor. You have total control. So let's say we were low on electricity. I could pump up the budget in electricity to generate some more and we have less of an issue. Speak of the devil, we do have electricity issues. So let's see, I do pump it up. Like that. Give it a couple of seconds to kick in, and they start to disappear. But I'm going to bring it down to 100 again, because I'll just place another turbine. And this is where you have total control, especially on your transport. Your loans as well, if you are in a desperate need to have loans and things, take them out. But you do only have a certain amount of time to pay it back with interest, of course. Bloody capitalist banking. Ugh. Go socialism. Taxes. Taxes, then socialism. If you go any higher than 12, I've found they've started to complain. So push them to 12. It's just so you can get the maximum amount of money you can in. You'll see they start to rise again now. But I'll only put the residential on 11, because it's only fair. I'm not that greedy. Just speed up time. Any decision you do make in the game, and you're like, oh, why is it not kicking in straight away? This is definitely the case with roads, for instance. You won't see cars going down them straight away. It's because they take time to kick in. So you can see I've jumped to nearly 1,000 just on raising taxes, because I'm evil. And we are starting to get crime as well, because there is more of a demand. So, right. Uno momento. Oh, please. Go on. There we go. Just get that message off. Right, so we need a police station. We'll have it in the city. I say city, it's not even a city. And then they will do their business. You'll see the Ninos going out. And they will go straight away. What was the crime? I never actually checked. Oh, 27%. That's what you get for talking. But that'll go straight away. That is not an issue at all. Do I sound worried? No, because I'm not. And the road system works. Woohoo. If I speed up the time, you'll be able to see the lorry systems going in and out. You'll find... Let's count them. So, 1, 2, 3. How many's going in there? Notice. 4, 5, 6. Come on. 7, 8, 9, 10. All 10 things that have passed along this road have gone into the industrial zone. Now you understand why traffic's important for the industry zone. But you can see they leave, and straight away it's not interrupting the flow of traffic, and they're just leaving the city straight away. Very important when you're doing intersections to understand the flow of traffic. It would be unwise, let's say, to have the exit over here because they're travelling along the left. That would mean they'd have to stop. It's basic sort of stuff. The game isn't hard, more or less, as long as you know what you're doing. Therefore, the game is hard, so I don't know why I just said that. But yeah, that's about it, I think, here in the city of Bob, for this part 1 of what is bound to be an exciting series on City Skylines here on Benji Chops, the great channel that it is. But first of all, I would like to quickly say thank you to Cameron, who has suggested doing this series, and also in terms of Game of Thrones, thank you to James for telling us to continue those ones. If you have any sort of ideas for other future games you'd like me to play, please let me know, because I'm highly open to playing any new game. Apologies that videos haven't been coming out very often. I have just finished college. Everything was starting to heat up in terms of work. I'm noticing traffic over there. Oh, don't like traffic. Work and college was heating up, so it was vital to get those things out of the way. But now I'm all done, so I am free to upload hopefully every day. So scold me all you want if I don't. But looking forward to tomorrow. Batman Arkham Knight. I am the Batman. Expect content from that if I can get the capture card to work. But there will still be daily or every other day of City Skylines and things like that as we go into the future, just to bear it in mind. So if you do want to see any of these things, then feel free to subscribe, like the video if you want to see more of these, or just to show your support, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!